Hi there, welcome back, my beautiful beings. How are you today? How are you feeling after all these videos? Now, in this beautiful video, what was coming up this morning that wanted to come through is the topic of addictions and our judgments around them. So, growing up in my house, I didn't grow up with alcoholism. My parents weren't alcoholics. They didn't smoke cigarettes, but it didn't mean that they didn't have addictions, that they didn't have their own demons that they were fighting with. So this is what we want to look at in the next few videos, that just because we're not drug addicts or we're not alcoholics, it doesn't mean that we don't have an addiction to something. It doesn't mean that we're perfect or we're better than anyone else. We all cope with our childhood trauma in our own way, in different ways, but it all comes down to the same. It's all about coping with what we've been through. So what I was remembering today as I was, getting ready to do these beautiful videos, growing up, my mum was addicted to food. The greater part of my childhood, her weight fluctuated between a size 20 to a size 24. And back in those days, the women's clothing, they didn't cater for anything over sort of 18 to 20. So when she did get bigger than the size 20, she would have to go and buy clothes from the men's shops. And I remember how embarrassed she was. She was mortified that she couldn't find clothes in her own size in the women's shops, that she had to start shopping in the men's shops. So my mum's way of coping with her childhood trauma, with the loss of her parents and what she'd been through, was through food. And I know there are many, many, many of us that use food to comfort, to numb that pain of what we've been through. My dad would come home and have a glass of scotch, just one. That was enough for him to relax. So he wasn't an alcoholic. Sometimes he'd have a glass of wine with dinner. That was the extent of his alcohol for the day. But my dad was a workaholic. He worked very long hours. And on weekends when he didn't need to work, he still found things to do to keep himself busy. This was his way of coping with what he had been through. Some of us throw ourselves into our work. We just don't allow ourselves 1 minute free to be with ourselves. We're just constantly busy, 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 busy. We don't even want to look at ourselves. We don't want to look at what we've been through, how we got here. It's too painful, it's too traumatic. Now, the other thing that was coming through this morning that I just was so funny, I remember, now it's like, oh, if you smoke, cigarettes. But I remember, now it's looked down on, like, oh, that you don't take care of your body or whatever it is, whatever judgments we have around smoking. When I was little, we would go to the doctor. I'm talking 70s, in the 70s. The doctor had an ashtray on his table and he would smoke while he was attending to us. I remember going to South America the first time and the aeroplanes were half smoking and half non-smoking. But even in the non-smoking section, we could still smell the cigarette from the smoking section. Many people turn to alcoholism because that's what they grow up with. They see their parents doing it all the time, or the drugs, the drug abuse. They see their parents taking drugs, and so we learn from quite little that this is how we cope with pain and trauma. We don't resolve it. We don't look at it. We don't sit with it and ask for the information of what it is that we're meant to gain from this experience. We learn to numb all of that out. to not feel it. This has been going on for generations, this not feeling. And so we look for other ways to cope. And this is all part of our beautiful human experience. My beautiful beings, it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad. Whatever it is that you're into, perhaps you're an alcoholic, perhaps you're a workaholic. You have to be busy every single minute of every single day because you can't stand to have 1 minute of silence. And then what? We're terrified of that silence and what it might bring to our awareness. We don't want to look at what's there. So we keep busy, busy, busy. And as I've said before, we do 100 times more damage to our bodies through stress, through suppression, through our anger, through our resentment. All of that eats away at your body far, far more than alcohol or cigarettes or drugs could ever damage your bodies. Far more. These other things, we use them because we don't want to feel. We don't want to remember. We want to numb it out. We don't want to feel. We don't want to feel the pain. We don't want to feel the sadness. We don't want to feel that fear anymore. We're done with feeling that way. And so we use these things as a way to escape all of that. Being spiritual doesn't mean that all of a sudden you have this huge connection to your body and you no longer eat the wrong foods, or you don't drink alcohol ever again, or you don't smoke cigarettes, or all of that. We have all these ideas of what being spiritual looks like. We have this expectation, this standard, that if you are spiritual, then this is what it looks like. It's funny. I remember being also many times being at the hospital, and you'd go out and there'd be nurses and doctors out there smoking. Now, today, not years ago, but even today, to this day. And these are people that are working in healthcare. They see how all of this affects the body, and yet they still smoke. And they still go home and have a drink. They drink the alcohol or whatever it is. Just because they are in that business of healing, if you like, if you want to call it that, of healing others, doesn't mean that in their human experience, that they can't have that experience. What is it like to smoke a packet of cigarettes a day? How does it feel in the body? How do I feel? It doesn't make them any less than what they are, these beautiful beings that are there to assist us on our healing journey every time we go to the hospital. It doesn't make them any less caring, any less compassionate, any less helpful when you need them. That's just their journey. It's what they feel that they need to get through. To get through their day. Who knows what they've been through before they got there. When I was growing up, smoking was a glamorous thing. It wasn't everyone did it. Everyone, actors, all the famous people, the rich people, you'd see it in movies. They were all smoking. And all drinking, you'd always see them all drinking alcohol in the movies. And to relax or to whatever, romantic moment always involves a bottle of some kind of alcohol in a movie, even to this day. But just because you drink doesn't make you, and that you're not a spiritual being, that you're not spiritual, or just because you smoke. Like I said, I've seen spiritual beings that make it a point to come out with their cigars and smoke their cigars while they're talking to you. And in that moment, in the early days when they did that, it used to irk me because I'm like, don't they know that this is like, it produces cancer, it's bad for you, it's been proven, But then I saw beyond that what they were trying to do. And it's to, assist us in letting go of our judgments. That spirituality needs to look a certain way. Because when we expect it to look a certain way, we miss all the beautiful opportunities that come our way, because it's not coming the right way for us. The right way. So, my beautiful beings. And I also realized, the more I thought of it, the more I sat with it, and the more downloads I received from my beautiful team and from Spirit, that most of the issues in our bodies have nothing to do with all of that. It has nothing to do with the food we put in or don't put in, the alcohol, the drugs, the smoking. It has everything to do with how we are feeling inside, the shame, the guilt, the pain that we're holding on to, the sadness that we're holding on to, the fear that we won't let go of. All of that is creating a lot more damage within us than any external things could possibly do to us physically. And it's our thoughts that are creating what's going on with our body. You can smoke till the end of your days. And if you're smoking and you're enjoying it, you love the taste of it, you love how it makes you feel, you just love cigarettes, and this is the thought every time, then it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Same with alcohol. No matter how much alcohol you drink, if you enjoy the experience, you enjoy the process. But how many of you, honestly, with your hand on your heart, can even have an ice cream and just enjoy it like a child does? Do you think a child, a 5-year-old, if you gave them ice cream, they sit there and they go, oh, I shouldn't be eating this because, oh, the calories and, oh, the cholesterol and, oh, the diabetes and, oh, the infinite list of things that this ice cream can do to my body, the damage that it can do to my body. It's bad for me. It's going to make me fat. It's going to, oh my goodness, I can just think of, I could go on forever just with ice cream. Can you imagine with the rest of it? But a 5-year-old, you give them an ice cream and just watch them enjoy that experience. No judgment, no beliefs that this is bad for me, this is wrong for me, this is going to make me fat. Nothing. It's just that child and that ice cream. I remember the first time my daughter had ice cream, it was like a celebration. Her whole body was celebrating this experience of how wonderful it tasted. And this is what we are doing here. How it makes you feel. Does it make you happy? Does it taste good? If not, then don't have it again. But if every time you eat that ice cream, you sit there and you think, this is making me fat, this is going to give me diabetes, this is, fill in the blanks of what you think every time you have an ice cream. That's just an example. Say pizza. You sit down and have a pizza, the same thing. A child that has pizza for the first time, oh my God, their mind is blown. Pizza! They don't stop to judge. This is going to make me fat. This is going to give me clogged arteries, whatever else is going on in our minds when we eat pizza. None of that. It's about the joy of tasting this triangle, this piece of triangle that comes from a circle that is delivered in a box, in a square. It's like, wow, this thing is amazing. A child has no judgments about things until we teach them to judge that this is good and this is bad and this is right and this is wrong, and all the judgments that we place on everything. But it's only bad, and it's only bad for you, for your body, if you believe that it's bad for you and your body. It's the belief that makes it so. Always. Your reality is created by your thoughts and your beliefs and your feelings. If you believe so strongly that this is bad for you, then as we said in previous videos, guess what? Your cells are listening in your body. And every time you eat that particular food, your body's going, oh, heads up. This is bad for us. Let's create this environment because this being believes that this is bad for us. And if they hear the word diabetes, then they start working towards that. If they hear the word clogged arteries, I'm going to have heart disease. Quick, let's get on it. And this is where their thoughts are. This is where their energy is. Come on, cells, let's get on it. Because this is what this being wants. This is what they're focusing on. And to your cells in your body, your wish is their command. Even if it's something that you don't want, if you are constantly having that thought, your cells are listening. They're listening. You are the genie. And your wish is their command. So whatever you are saying over and over and over in your mind, this is bad for me, this is going to create whatever it is you're thinking it's going to create as you do it, whether it's the drugs, whether it's the alcohol, whether it's whatever it is, your cells are listening. You are like the CEO of this company, your body. You command in every moment what is going on in your body. And being spiritual isn't about eating the right foods, exercising correctly, not smoking, not drinking, not taking drugs. It has nothing to do with any of that. This body that we've been given, this vessel, is for us to experience, to have this human experience, that we can feel the wind on our skin. We can feel the warmth of the sun on our backs. That you can smell the scent of flowers. Oh, the smell of food when it's cooking. That's what this body is for you to have this experience. All the beautiful senses you've been given are for you to have this experience even more fully. And sometimes we come in and a sense has been taken out. Our sight removed, our hearing removed. What is the experience like without one of these senses? The soul wants to know. All right, my beautiful beings. So today our invitation for you is to think about, really look at your thoughts around your body and what you are saying to your body constantly, either with the food that you eat or, if you do drink alcohol, what are you thinking when you're drinking the alcohol? Because your cells are listening. If you are smoking, are you enjoying that cigarette like the child with the ice cream, or are you telling your body, oh, this is going to create cancer? I'm going to get lung cancer from this, but I'm just going to keep smoking. because your body is listening all the time. You are in charge of trillions of cells. They're all here for you, constantly listening to what you want them to do. All right, my beautiful beings. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.